let's get into Trump's highlights and lowlights of his speech last night. Aaron Faxon and I did a highlights reaction. We just kind of reacted overall. I will go into this kind of just rambling over and over. I'm not going to go in order, but you know, you guys can make up whatever you want to make of this. And if you have your own parts that you loved of his speech, then go ahead and write it down here in the comments. Email us on the show. I will say the best thing Trump ever said on that stage, there was a couple of things. He talked about, and I did not see this coming, and I'll tell you why in a second. I'll tell you why. He talked about lowering taxes on tipped wages, meaning he even said ending taxes on tips. Ending taxes on tips? Uh-oh. If you're on the left, but you're like, I could vote for Trump, but I don't know. I think he's lying to you. But this is a winning message on this part, in this section of the speech. This is a winning section. This is a winning message. This is the winning part to get the left right on his side. I'm gonna end the taxes on your tips. Now, where I see the problem is he tried to tax tips and increase the taxes on tips anyway on his tax cuts. Those tax cuts were not great. All right, now let's get to the tax cuts. He mentioned he did a summary of his whole administration. This is what everybody has been doing at the convention this week. Is they were going, oh, let's tell you about the 4 years under Trump. The 4 years under Trump were They weren't great, but they were a lot better than under Biden. I'll tell you that much. And I'm living in both administrations. I've lived under both. He said, oh, our infrastructure was great. No, you try to privatize the infrastructure. And he mentioned it last night, saying we're going to privatize the infrastructure. That's not a positive message. There's a lot of problems with privatizing infrastructure. Okay, you're speaking to a Republican base and independents and maybe some Democrats. Okay, he talked about immigration a little too much. Everyone has mentioned it. Pompeo, kind of not. He focused mainly on foreign policy, which is his deal as CIA director and Secretary of State. Laura Trump, Donald Trump Jr., Eric Trump Jr., Vivek Ramaswamy. We're gonna get to that. I'm sure Tucker did. Tucker Carlson. All kinds of people already talked about the immigration. I thought he should have done that 15 minutes and then gone away, and he didn't. Now, the one that I will excuse, the one part is that chart that he was looking at. He turned to the right, and then he was going to turn back this way, but he didn't, and, whatever. Okay, that chart was perfect. Look at this. This is when I was president. Look at this border policy. This is Joe. Brilliant. I mean, that's a great chart. Now, so he mentioned immigration too much. Now, we all know it's nuts. Elon Musk and, Glenn Greenwald and Jimmy Dore and everyone's mentioned how these immigration policies that Joe Biden has are just absolutely outrageous and nuts. So we're talking about this guy on the screen. Yes, Donald Trump. But immigration was too much. I do agree with closing the borders, but not sealing the borders. There's a difference. Don't just let anyone through. I don't agree with Republicans' policy of, we're just going to send you back to your country and you got to wait. There's a reason why they're coming to this country, you assholes, you fucks. But those fucks are going to be in office for the next 4 years at least. 8 years maybe with the state of the Democratic Party. But people have low attention span, still forgetting they'll vote the Democrats back in for some dumb-ass reason. Okay. Now, the next part, he talked about the fact that he could end the wars with a telephone call. It just takes a telephone call. He's a mixed bag on wars. He still did the drone strikes. He upped the drone strikes, by the way, like 330 or 342% or something like that. Some crazy shit. 350%, I think. So that's bad. But he did pull troops out of northern Syria. But there's the mixed bag. He didn't put a UN peacekeeper to keep the Kurds protected who were protecting the ISIS prisons and the prison that was containing over 10,000 ISIS prisoners. And what happened? The Kurds got invaded by the Turks, and then Turkey invaded the Kurds, and then the Kurds let the ISIS prisoners go. And now we got a bunch of ISIS prisoners loose. So when he said, "Hey, we eradicated ISIS," nah, kinda, and yes. And then he sent those troops from northern Syria to the southern tip of Syria and western Iraq. Okay, well, that's not a great deal. Sticking with foreign policy. Now, he didn't start a new war. I can say that. He did not start a new war. The first president in decades to do so. He did not want to go into Ukraine. He did keep Putin at bay. He was tougher on Putin than every other president that I remember, except Reagan. Now, Reagan was a crook and a criminal himself, but the way he spoke was like, okay. He said Iran is now getting closer to making a nuclear weapon. That's actually a lie. Both Republicans and Democrats, oh my God, it's so close! Ah! And no one does it. Iran hasn't done it yet. He went into Iran, giving money to Iran, all these. He talked about MS-13, of course, which is famous in the East Coast of the United States, and how he closed the runways, and he did this, and he did that, and then we love them so much, yes, we do. No, they didn't say that. They just wanted you to stop being a dumbass and a bitch and a dick. Okay, so then he went into the manufacturing jobs. He went into trade, and he said, we're going to make people trade great again. But he said that he was going to bring trade back, and he was going to do it through tariffs. Now, he didn't do it his first time. I thought he was going to do it. He didn't. He did some tariffs, but he didn't fully go in on China. I wish he would have. And he said that that's how he's going to get it done. He criticized the UAW, the Unified Auto Workers Union. I think that's what they're called. Correct me if I'm wrong. And he went after them and criticized them because the leader went after or supported Joe Biden. The guy broke a railroad strike 2 years ago. We covered this on the channel with Naim Abulhawa. He disrupted a railroad strike and sided with the big corporations. Okay, that's the guy that you want to support. This is a smart move by the Republican Party to move to the left on unions. They're not going to do anything for you, but hey, if it's messaging. And I would say, okay, he went over the assassination attempt. I think he saved the explanations and any interviews and speeches for last night. I think that's what he wanted. And he told exactly what happened. I thought he meandered way too long. I was bored as shit. And I said this on the stream last night. I was so bored. I was so bored, man. Like, that was just, oh my God. Not a good look for Trump just to, I'm so weak. Oh, I can't even talk. Oh, I'm Trump. I'm weak. I'm a weak old grandpa. That's what he sounded like. It was very low. It was very low energy. It was not Trump. Not a lot of unity. It wasn't a lot of unity. Still. Also, he couldn't get Yusha. He called her Usha, J.D. Vance's wife. Talked about him a little bit. He honored Corey Comportori, who passed away due to that shot, protecting his girls. That video makes me break down every time, and we got to share it here. Just absolute heartbreaking, stuff there. And we pray and send our condolences to his family and the girls and his wife, his high school sweetheart, by the way. High school sweetheart, almost 30 years married. Oh, that hurts. And they've raised almost $6 million, or at least $6 million for the family. So, and then my favorite part of the speech. Oh yeah, I had a favorite part. Aside from ending the wars, he said he was going to do that. And he did mention how he kept Putin at bay. Now, of course, the Ukrainians still got weapons from Trump, going back to foreign policy, so that he caved and was weak on that front. But my most favorite part, and I was hoping he'd hit on it, where he said we're gonna handle men and women's sports. We're gonna get rid of that. Awesome! Yeah! Finally, someone says it. Great. And can we nominate judges who know what a woman is? I wish he would have went into that. Oh, he also went into the lawfare because they've been going after Trump, they've been going after Navarro, Bannon, all these people. So that those were the highlights and lowlights for me. I thought he was meandering too much. I thought he was too low energy. Not a lot of unity in that speech. But you know what? The rest of the convention took care of that for him. I wish he would have done it. I wanted to hear that from my president, my future president, and he didn't do it very much. But he did say a couple little things, like the no taxes on tips, and ending the wars, and the men and women sports, the things that I like to hear on the left. So that's my effort to give you the highlights and lowlights of Trump's speech.